SCOTUS, which is the Supreme Court of the United States, ruled that affirmative action, basically hiring people based off their, or no, accepting people based off their skin color, is unconstitutional. Is because that means that you're making it harder for other people and you're making it easier for people, right? So that's basically the gist of affirmative action. So let's go ahead and talk about this article. This is from the New York Post. And affirmative action was an injustice to people of all races. So just based off of the description I told you a bit, how do you feel about this being a person from not in the US? Okay, let's go ahead and share this article. Boom.
Okay. As per what I know, the people here in it's the ultra wealthy people who have it, like, because they just pay the tuition outright. They don't have to borrow money to get in. So as far as I know, it's not tough to get in. Well, anyway, to begin with, those children who have families with that kind of wealth status, usually they're usually the smart kids in school. They're usually the first honor and all that. All the honors you can think of, they have it. So it's easy for them to get in. So I don't know. I think I imagine this has more of an impact domestically, since the way college works for you guys is, unfortunately, you guys have to borrow because of the high cost. You have to borrow money, then you have to pay it off. But for here in the Philippines, that's not really how it works. Student debt isn't really a thing here. It's more of like, if you go to a college you can't afford, like there are even colleges I know that's kind of next to free. It's more, the concern in the Philippines is the quality of the education. Most of them they're not that great, unfortunately. It's more of the student trying to make the best of what he or she can do so that they can be compatible to the workforce. Even I have the privilege of studying in one of the top universities here, but even I can say it's not good. The education is not good. It's more of what you make of yourself. But yeah, overall, I don't think it really impacts us, like people here who want to study, example, like Harvard or Duke or Stanford. They'll be fine. I mean, they have the money. That's all that really matters. They have the money, then they'll just take them in, and yeah, they can easily prove their with their grades and achievements here locally. So yeah, but good on you guys that that's not the way it works anymore. It's more of it's more of your merit right now, regardless of your skin color, which I think that's the way it should have been since the beginning.
Yeah,
that's how I said.
let's see. Oh, so just a guy said in the chat says that is the University of North Carolina and Harvard and two groups of agents. Okay, so the UNC, Chapel Hill specifically. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, I thought it was USC, but that's University of Southern California. That's a different school. But okay, let's go ahead and read this. Let's see. It's not the first time the Supreme Court has dropped a bombshell. Dropped a bombshell. Not even the first time in the past year. But Thursday's judgment on affirmative action is a bombshell for sure. One is to set to detonate under this nation's educational establishment about time too. The case goes back to almost a decade to the moment in 2014 when a group of Asian American students began a lawsuit against Harvard University. Damn, it's been going on for almost 10 years. Holy crap. The student has been rejected by the university despite having the best possible qualifications. What is more, the complaints noted that the number of Asian Americans at Harvard was similar each year despite the number of Asian Americans increasing. In other words, it looks suspiciously like the university had a quota system in place. Harvard, of course, did everything they could to deny these claims. Unfortunately, they were claims that everybody could see that were true. So the thing is what's it called again? A lot of Asians like going to nice schools, fancy schools, and stuff like that.
Yep.
And here's the thing: these Ivy League schools, such as Harvard and Stanford, Brown or whatever, they're extremely expensive, and that's not. And so here's the thing: I went to an art school, and that shit was $120,000. Okay, which is really expensive, and I'm still paying it off, and it's been almost 10 years since I've graduated, and I'm still paying that shit right now. It's because of interest. And the thing is, I think a lot of people are, for a lack of a better term, groomed to go to college, especially here in the States. They want you to go to college is because if you don't go to college, you're not going to get a good education. And if you're not
Yeah.
going to get a good education, you're not going to get a good job, etc.,
Hmm.
etc.
Hmm.
So it's groomed from a long time ago. But here's the thing, though. A lot of these giant colleges are being funded by mega corporations, even politicians, right? Like the Obamas, or well, at least not. I'm not sure about Michelle, but we know that Barack graduated from Harvard. So I wonder if he was a diversity let in because of affirmative action, right? Does it date back all the way to him? Because if that's the case, then you only need like a 900 on your SAT in order to get in versus an Asian needs 1400. That sort of sucks. But I'm not sure how deep this goes. It's because they're getting public funding, which is these schools are private schools or whatever, but they're being funded by these mega corporations. It seems very like a very unfortunate situation for a lot of people, and especially for Asians, right? It's because they're basically, hey, there's a lot of Asians here, so let's make sure that we only have 2,000 Asians per quarter,
Yeah. Yeah.
versus however
It's
much.
Yeah, I know it's usually from abroad too. It's not usually domestically. It's because they come from wealthy families and they just pay the tuition outright. That's why I know they're dominating the Ivy League schools.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead and continue. Let's see. Harvard, like most other educational institutions in this country, was desperately trying to increase quotas of certain students, notably Black Americans. In doing so, inevitably, they were having to discriminate against students who were overperforming. And while other groups overperformed too, the case of Asian Americans and Harvard was so clear as to be almost undeniable. Yet Harvard tried to deny it and fought like anything not to have its selection criteria revealed. The university claimed that such criteria constituted its trade secrets. What the a trade stupid. They were right, but they came out nonetheless. One revelation was that Harvard routinely marked down Asian Americans who it had not even invited for the interview on things such as character traits. By marking them down in such a way, Harvard could then dismiss the application as not being up to scratch. Right? That's crazy. The applicant had simply been racially judged along clearly racist criteria by an institution claiming to be acting in the name of anti-racism. So I hate that word anti-racism is because you're trying to be so not racist, you become anti-racist,
Yeah, exactly. That's what it sounds like. You actually
right?
become one.
Yep. Let's see. Over the course of a decade, the case ended up in the Supreme Court, which yesterday issued its verdict. In a 6-9 judgment, the court said that universities like Harvard are in violation of the 14th Amendment's Equal Protection Clause. As Justice Roberts wrote in the deciding opinion, the students must be treated based on his or her experiences as an individual, not on the basis of race. Many universities have for too long done just the opposite. The opposite. And in doing so, they concluded wrongly that the touchstone of an individual's identity is not challenges bested, skills built, or lessons learned, but the color of their skin. Our constitutional, constitutional history does not tolerate that choice. Yeah, so it's basically it's people like, okay, here's the thing. Before I continue forward, I think there are ways for us to actually alleviate this, like sort of get make this easier. Let's say if we have any person, doesn't matter the race or sex or whatever gender it is, right? Because of discrimination. Let's say they get 1400, maybe 16, maybe a 1550, maybe a 1600. I'm not sure what the SAT scores are now, but let's say you get a perfect score. Your GPA, your cumulative GPA is like 4.3 because you've been going to AP classes and whatnot. And then you apply, but you don't have the money for it. You don't have the tuition fees. As a school should do, what they should be doing is, hey, so and so, we see that your grades are really good and you applied. But whenever you apply, you always have to write an essay to see why you need to be submitted or admitted into the school, right? What they could do is, we know that you're in a lower family income. You are actually in poverty. Your family is living in poverty.
Mhm.
How about we give you a huge scholarship that covers all your tuition fees for you to come to our school because you have the education and the actual merit to actually be a part of our school or and a part of our institution. I think that's how they should do it, right? They have so much money. These schools have billions and billions of dollars, and they go way back, right? And the thing is that we do have these nepo babies, right? These nepotism babies. Just because Barack Obama went to Harvard, their kids is going to be accepted to Harvard, right? It's also like that too. How do you think about that, or do you have what would you do if you're in that situation?
That's 100% a thing here too. Is Philippines like I think even more so here. It's like if you're part of the Forbes top wealthiest people, automatic the descendants get preferential treatment right on the offset. Yeah, they can claim that they're pressured to live up to stuff, but they have it easy. Let's be real. They have it easy. They get to do philanthropic work and say that they did it themselves, but no, not really. It's from their parents stuff.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's time that equal the playing field. But yeah, we also have that kind of system where if you are really capable, if you're really smart, you have good grades, and you come from a low income family, then yeah, you have the opportunity to apply for a scholarship in the university. So that good that we have that. But yeah, I know it's limited, but if you have what it takes, then why not? And yeah, the more people get that kind of opportunity, the better for sure.
yeah, for sure. I 100% agree. Let's see. It is hard to overstate how seismic this judgment is. Not just Harvard, but almost every university in the country has been engaging in unconstitutional activities for years. And it's just not the universities. Just think of numerous sectors in American life that have followed the same criteria and priorities as the universities. When he was mayor, Bill de Blasio, that piece of shit, attempted attempted a radical makeover of New York City's specialized schools programs to fit along precisely such race lines. Private, public companies have done the same. So I remember in 2020 I believe there was a bill. I forgot what prop it was, but in California that we wanted to vote in affirmative action for jobs. So that means that you can actually hire people based off of their race. So let's say if you have too many white people in your company, you don't need to hire them, which is sort of fucked up, right? So I believe it's Prop 6 or something like that. And I voted no, and it was like 73% no, which is freaking awesome. A lot of people in California actually have brains, but like the fact that that was even on the ticket, that was even on the ballot is mind blowing to me. Is because you're basically rolling back what's it called again, sort of diversity, equal opportunities for all, and basically the stuff that Bader Ginsburg fought for, right? It's pretty shitty. So I'm glad that was turned down, but there's these private companies that are trying to push this shit forward. Let's see. The most progressive companies in America, like Google and Facebook, have all been engaged in the same activities as Harvard. Instead of focusing purely on merit, everything in this country has ended up being about the identity of the person, not their competency. So it is fitting that one of our justices who did not agree with the judgment was the most recent appointee to the court, Ketanji Brown Jackson. I believe she was a diversity hire. She was like
Okay.
the tenth judge, and she didn't vote because she's a part of this diversity hire thing. Yeah, which is pretty funny. Which is pretty
Yeah,
funny,
yeah, yeah.
right?
Well,
I don't think she voted.
I don't know. It's like maybe at least she's being consistent about. I got it because of that system. So why should
Yeah,
I
I'm not
vote
voting.
against it?
I vote present.
Yeah.
Let's see. She disagreed with the other justices, especially Justice Clarence Thomas, which is a fucking giga chat. Clarence Thomas is amazing. A lot of people's like, oh, he's racist, dude. Clarence Thomas is black. In unusually strong language. Okay. And while it might not be nice to point this out, nevertheless, a home truth needs saying here. Home truth? Okay. There is a reason why Justice Jackson might be opposed to the idea of colorblind attitudes in America, because the fact that she is where she is today because of her sex and her skin color. Yep. What's it called again? Joe Biden literally said, I'm going to hire a black justice and pack the courts. Like he actually said, "I'm gonna hire it because you're a woman and you're black," and it's just like, oh my god, dude. It's sort of like her his was it press secretary, Jean Green Jean Pierre. Oh my gosh, she's so stupid. Like there's a lot of questions she doesn't know how to answer. But let's continue. See, when President Biden had the opportunity to appoint a new Supreme Court justice, he announced straight away that he wanted to appoint a black woman to the court. He did not say that he wanted to appoint the best possible justice, be they white, black, Asian, male, female, or anything else. He specifically said that he wanted a black woman. And that is how Ketanji Brown Jackson got where she is. Yep, true. True, man. This is crazy. In other words, she is a beneficiary of the idea that was held sway in the recent decades in America, which is the prioritization of race above all else. It is an ideology which has done a profound damage to this country's ability to achieve and to its standing in the world. Most other countries, notably our rivals, are not engaged in these acts of self-harm. They are engaged in being as competitive as possible on the world stage. Only America in this generation has led the way of obsessing about people's personal characteristics. Only this country has decided to prioritize everything except excellence. In the process, we have done injustice to the people of all races. We have done an injustice to the numberless students whose careers have been held back because they are from the wrong race. And we have done a deep disservice to those students deemed to be from the right race. Can you believe we even have to say that in 2023? I believe that's the end of the article. All right. Oh man. This is a win for this is a win for Asians, but not just Asians, but for racists everywhere, in my
Yeah.
opinion. It's because
Yeah.
just if you're good enough for the job, if you're good enough to be at that school or institution, you should be allowed to go to that school or institution, right?
Mhm.
If it costs a shit ton of money to get in, and that person is really really good, either have some kind of like financial aid or something like that, or some kind of a grant or even scholarship for them to get in. That's how I feel. But but the thing is, I feel like a lot of these people feel that it is racist. Oh, now black people is going to be hard. Now people are going to have a harder time to get into these colleges. Why are you saying that? Are you racist? Are you saying that black people aren't smart enough?
Yeah.
That's how I see it, right?
Yeah.
This affirmative action in schools, it's blatantly racist. It's overtly racist. Is
Mhm.
because you're saying that people who are scoring on the lower totem pole average, for black Americans and Hispanics or whatever, you're basically saying that they're on the lowest, so we're going to make it easier for you to get in. All right, let's play that game. And I'm pretty sure this has happened before. Let's say if I'm a dumbass Asian
Mhm.
and they like, oh, we need more Asians in school, so we're gonna make it easier for Asians to get in, which is crazy, right?
Mhm.
So I go in to these crazy Ivy League schools. You're setting me up to fail, is because I'm not smart enough, right? I shouldn't even be there. I'm gonna drop out is because I'm not smart enough to be in these Ivy League schools. If I
Mhm.
was, then I will be there. I will survive, right? You're setting these people that you think that aren't good enough to fail, and these this country and a lot of these schools and institutions, you're failing the American population. It's that's how I feel, man. How do you feel about this?
Yeah, it's like if you're not good enough, then be good enough. Yeah, you have to work similar to anything in life. It's like if you want to be good at a particular sport or any whatever career path you want to be good at it. Like continue to get better and better. Like
Yep.
every single day. What can I do to be 1% better than I was yesterday? Like you don't need it doesn't need to be a big gap right away. It's like it's a slow and long journey. You go there, it's a never ending journey of getting better. How do I get better? How do I serve my clients or customers better, or whoever I'm serving better? Yeah, so good that maybe this is the start as well to permeate in corporations. So maybe this is a time that diversification, the push for purely diversification, is beginning to die out. Hopefully, and that
Yeah.
begins to permeate in the companies that we keep shitting on every week.
Thanks for checking out this segment of the Project Eggroll podcast. If you like what we do here, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you will know next time when we go live. We do go live every Saturday at 8 p.m. Once again, we are just getting started. Tons of more video to come. Thanks, and we'll see you guys next time.